Hey everybody, this is Merg, the founder of 1000 Hour Games and creative director on, I guess what was previously titled Gates of Everforge and now Everstorm. Since the last development update video that I did, a lot has changed in our project. I'm here to talk to you guys about it all today. So the first thing is that our game's name is changing. What was previously titled Gates of Everforge is now just Everstorm. This is the result of just some trademarking complications, and we are really making this game with the long vision in mind, and we find it to be critically important that we make sure we're actually getting the trademark. And while we had applied for a trademark for the title Gates of Everforge, we did have an official legal opinion that said we were going to be able to get that approved, it turns out the application was actually declined. So very simply, we just made the quick decision to rename it from Everforge to Everstorm, and we've resubmitted a new trademark application. Again, that's just a critical component of setting ourselves up for a long-term future with this project. But with that little bit of housekeeping out of the way, I want to talk to you guys about the more exciting stuff that has changed, because a lot has changed in the game. One of the major things you might notice is the way the map looks. 6 months ago when I did the last big video update, I said that we were hiring a new environment artist and they were going to redo the map. Well, this new map is entirely done. You can see the whole mini map down here. It's quite large. There's 4 different corners for 4 different teams. We also have a day mode that we've implemented, as well as this night mode here. And another one of the things we've added is this quest board, which is going to give players an opportunity to pursue extra objectives. The way this is intended is those objectives are going to give you something extra to do each match, and then you get an extra end of match reward at the very end. So I also want to talk about gear. So I guess I want to take a step back and just talk about the reason that it has taken us so long to get to this point from 6 months. We have not been working slow over the past 6 months. Actually, our team has been working incredibly quickly and diligently, responding to player feedback and making major adjustments to make the game better. And when we first started doing testing this summer, we expected to move right along into closed alpha, then closed beta, and then right into early access. But we actually found very early on that some critical components of our game just weren't good enough. And I'm not just talking about bugs and balance. I'm talking about the fact that some of the core systems just didn't work. Specifically what I'm talking about is considering upgrades that were taking over your entire screen was just way too difficult for players. And people were describing the game as overwhelmingly random. We've made a whole bunch of changes. We've been experimenting with a bunch of different things to adjust this. One of the first things we've done is we moved the UI for the changes up to the top, so you can always see your own player and control your own player, so you never have this sense of the game's happening without you. And then also you're going to have a lot fewer of these choices as opposed to making them over and over and over throughout the game. So these major changes, which we're referring to now as Runic powers, they now only appear from this dragon egg in your base, and then at the dragons in the main part of the map, and then as well at the elementals, which are essentially our red buff, blue buff, and green buff. And then if you played closed alpha or watched our previous footage, you may have realized before these things were actually called gear sets. We had what is now a runic power and an item that is separated. Those used to be combined onto a single thing, and it was too much to consider. And it was something that was contributing to, as I said, people were referring to as overwhelming randomness in the game. In addition to having fewer of these runic powers and having them more meaningful when you do get them, we also have added shops. And this was a feature that took quite a bit of time. So this is very familiar to shops, as you may have seen in other MOBAs, where you can click around and you can create these items. And then we have a recommended items list. This, we hope to really expand the way this behaves, to make it easier for players to kind of figure out what's going on and choose the items that they want. But I'm just going to grab something, So I did get that Chain Lightning Runic power, which causes my weapons to deal physical damage and applying on-hit effects. So I'm just going to take, a physical item, which this guy does attack damage. And then you're also going to notice, you may have already noticed, there's 6 empty slots here. What we're doing with these slots is there are tons of active items. So this thing here would build into this, which builds into this, which grants an active item. Interrupt an enemy target. If successful, silence them for 2 seconds. When you get this item, an ability is added to this slot. And so, I know other games have like 4 abilities. We really want Everstorm to stand out. It's a different game with lots of options, lots of controls. And instead of just careful use of 4 abilities, we're allowing players to have a lot more options, almost to the same extent as like PvP in an MMO. But yeah, another thing I want to talk about is these gates. Previously, there were gates all over the map, and again, following player feedback, a lot of people were telling us the gates felt like they're just too much. Just gate, just over and over. So we've massively reduced the number of gates that are in the game. And it's also part of our name change. We've gone from Gates of Everforge to just Everstorm. So we've entirely taken the focus off of gates and put the focus onto this roaming experience. And the game is now kind of almost an extraction type MOBA, where the idea is you survive as long as you can, and then you get out with currency to purchase additional upgrades for your character. Extracting from the map, and of course there's permadeath, so we have removed respawning from the game. Currently, you might notice the game looks a little bit easy while I'm just sitting here and chit-chatting. But if you look at my patch notes, the most recent Discord update, we are actually in the middle of deploying a major balance update. The game is going to be almost like this in the next patch. Okay, another thing we've done is we have added these things all over the place. And this used to be where chests would drop, but now instead, so there's elite spawns, you kill the elite, and then a chest still drops, but instead of an item in there, which instead of an item being in there, it actually just grants you an additional ability point. So you can now rank up your abilities. So I'll grab that one. I actually had 2 because I leveled up at the same time. So this Convictions is now rank 2. I'm going to rank them again here and show you guys. So one of the key goals of Everstorm is to allow players to have a lot of flexibility in the way they play each and all of their characters. And so to achieve that, we have those Runic powers I've already shown you. We have the shops to purchase items. You can get the stats you want. In addition to that, we have also added an ability evolution system. We used to have these randomized perks, and now what happens, so I'm going to reach rank 3 in this ability, and then I immediately get to choose an evolution of this ability. And these are, always in all the characters going to be intended to kind of have like a tanky option, like an AD option, AP option. Sometimes there'll be a utility option. Or, some of the abilities, they're clearly just an AD, an attack damage ability. There may be one that's more critical strike oriented, another that's more attack speed oriented. But in this instance, since I'm doing an attack damage and attack speed build with this lightning runic power, I am also going to grab killing enemies reduces the cooldown of convictions by 1 second. So this is just going to massively increase my uptime of convictions, because what convictions is it's just an attack speed increase. Another thing we did is we removed the back function, so we used to be able to just press B and go right back to your base. That is no longer the case. And the justification for that is there's permadeath, and this game is not about hugging the base or defending the base or defeating another team's base by destroying some sort of structure in the back of the base. Instead, it's about roaming the map, exploring, and surviving and getting out. However, I now have 2,500 gold, and I want to spend it. So instead of going back to my base to purchase stuff, there are actually additional shops. This one, there's additional shops located. That one. As you're watching, you can see there is some movement bugs that we're currently working on. That's one of the things we're working on. And we're fully aware of the movement bugs. Yeah, anyways. This is not a recorded video that I'm talking over, by the way. This is me playing live while also talking, so that kind of helps explain the haphazardness of me starting to talk about things and then stopping. So I'm going to go in here. There's a shop right here. So this is not a base, but this is, again, another shop. Heal myself. Ideally, so this guy takes 3,200 gold, and that'll give me another active item. Active ability. Here, let's upgrade it into this. Buy some components here. But I still need more gold. To buy that. The other thing I want to show you here is this is no longer an upgrade for the match. So it's a similar system to the chest that grants you the Berserk. However, okay, so what I was about to show you, this is actually fairly relevant. What I was about to show you is killing that was actually going to give me some currency that can be used to purchase permanent upgrades in between each match. I didn't kill it, so I didn't actually get anything. But the idea is that if you kill these enemies and you get the currency, there's then these permanent upgrades that you can purchase to improve the way your character behaves. And that's kind of the core loop of the whole game. So yeah, this has kind of been a quick and dirty update. I just want to show you guys the status of the game. I of course wanted to announce this is critically important that the game is being renamed to Everstorm, and that we are going to be expanding closed alpha to collect more player feedback on everything that's going on in this game very quickly, very soon. And if you want to see what all needs done before we move on to that next phase of development, there's a little to-do list in the Discord, and I would encourage you to go check that out. All right, thanks to everybody for all your ongoing support. Thank you for your patience. I look forward to sharing this with you, and happy holidays.